It's a problem. Okay, so, we say this, there are bad wins. I thought Tampa's win is concerning off a bye, and there are concerning, and then there are losses that you kind of feel good about. Like, okay, we're getting there. So Kansas City, I got very lucky. I won this in Blazing 5 in a backdoor cover. Got very lucky. But in the last 5 days, Kansas City is not dialed in. This is concerning. In their last 5 games, now this is a gambling thing, but it does translate to real football. They're 0-5 against the spread. What does that mean? That if you look at the numbers, the people who do this, the Fox Bet, the professionals who do this, they're underachieving. They're not playing up to who they are. And 5 straight one-possession wins over not a lot of great teams. Yesterday is a prime example. Miami was missing their 3 best running backs. They had 3 rookies playing on the offensive line. These scout team guys. Their wide receivers were Mac Hollins and Lyndon Bowden and Jalen Grant. They got 370 yards. They got more first downs than Kansas City. They won time of possession against Kansas City. You're talking about Tua, hadn't played football for a year and a half, has a handful of starts, was benched, they bring him back. 3 rookies on the offensive line. Your 4th or 5th best running back, Devontae Parker's your best receiver. I don't think he played in the second half. This should have been over. This is the Jags yesterday. That's what it should have been. And the last time the Chiefs beat somebody by more than a touchdown was the Jets. And you saw the Jets yesterday. By the second series, the game was over. So I look at that yesterday. I don't know how it was that close. I do not believe this morning Kansas City is the best football team in America. I do not. They should be. They could be. They maybe be. They're not. That's not the best football team in America. Giving up 370 yards to 3 rookie offensive linemen, running backs that probably should play in another league like XFL, CFL, or something FL. And it was, in the end of that game, once again, it got kind of uncomfortable. So it's not a knock on him. It's just a reality of, I don't think Kansas City is buttoned up. Now, we do have a history of certain teams flipping a switch, but a lot of times, like the LA Clippers, you can't, right? Like most of the time, electric teams can flip a switch. Not all the time. A couple years ago, the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, were down 3-2, would have lost to the Rockets if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt. They could not flip the switch. They just got comfortable with winning. Offense was too easy. They got into a series with an energized team that matched up well, the Rockets. And if Chris Paul didn't get hurt, Houston win in that series. The other thing is, I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns because they play tonight. And again, so the Giants came off a huge win with a young coach and a young quarterback, laid an egg yesterday. And then Buffalo, young coach, young quarterback, played great last week. They had a big game yesterday and looked terrific, at least in the second half. So here's Cleveland. Cleveland last week went to Nashville, beat the Titans. To me, it felt like the biggest win for Cleveland in 10 years. I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but it felt like a big win. So now tonight, how do you react? This goes back to Trent Dilfer always told me this. Everybody reacts to losses the same way. The NFL, how do you react to wins? Some guys, it's just too much. And then let me start with this. I won the Baker Mayfield argument. He's not a number 1 pick. The reason I like Cleveland tonight, and I do like them, close, is because they're Kevin Stefanski's team. And how do I know that? They don't talk. They're mature. They're cerebral. They're grown up. And Cleveland, I predicted last year they'd be kind of a mess. They were. I didn't buy into Freddie Kitchens or the GM John Dorsey. This year I've predicted they're a playoff team, and it looks like they're going to win 9-10 games. I like Cleveland tonight. And the reason I like them, they're not Baker Mayfield's team. They are Kevin Stefanski's team. And what's interesting about tonight is that when you play divisional games, it really shows you who you are. Because they know your personnel and you know theirs. And nobody's fooling anybody. Everybody knows the other guy's playbook. This is going to come down to intelligence, emotional discipline. These are all the things we've worried about Cleveland. We've never worried about Cleveland's talent. That is not the issue. Tonight, divisional games come down to emotional maturity, emotional discipline, intelligence, guile, all the little stuff that wins games. And Baltimore historically has been really good at all the little glue stuff. So a divisional game really either unravels or exposes you. A win tonight by Baltimore, I don't care if win tonight by Cleveland, I don't care if it's in triple overtime, says a lot more than a win over even a team equal to Baltimore out of division. To play a division rival and to beat them tells me this isn't, everybody knows everybody's players here. Nobody's fooling anybody. Bama, LSU, you all recruited the same players. USC, UCLA, you're recruiting the same players. You've seen all the tape, you know all the plays, you play every year. It's different. This is not SEC versus Pac-12 or Big Ten against Big 12 or, Patriots coming out west taking on Chargers. No surprises here. All the little glue stuff is going to matter, and that's what we always doubt about Cleveland. I don't tonight because I think it's Kevin Stefanski's team, and I think he's on a short list of coaches of the year. So I can't wait. This is a great Monday Night Football game. And I'll tell you, the weather, apparently I read this morning, is just a bunch of nonsense everywhere. It's just mostly terrible. I'm sitting there last night, and I'm watching that game. It felt so NFL. Tonight is going to feel so NFL. There are games, yesterday Atlanta and the Chargers is just a bunch of chaos and interceptions late, and you're like, this is a circus. Tonight's going to feel so true to the NFL brand. It is just going to be tough and physical and running. And the game, you better watch it because it's going to be over in about 90 minutes. It's the top two rushing teams. They're going to eat the clock up. I think both teams will mostly take the ball out of the quarterback's hands, run downhill, quick game. First quarter will be done in 20 minutes, and I'll take the Browns to win by a field goal or less. But Cleveland, as always, I got your back. All right, hour 2 on a Monday. Colin right, Colin wrong. In L.A., it's the Herd.
Well, it was looking like an upset there for the first 5 minutes.
Boy, I tell you what, there is Miami's first 5-6 minutes, almost every game I've seen this year, they give quarterbacks fits. Russell Wilson, not just every guy. That first 5 minutes, first 7-8 minutes, Mahomes was... he was struggling. No,
they're gonna come out ready to go. They overcame a 10-point early deficit to the Chiefs and 4 turnovers to beat the Dolphins 33-27. 3 of those 4 turnovers were interceptions thrown by Patrick Mahomes, who had his first multi-interception game in the regular season since 2018. So, I think that stat alone is very reflective of what this Dolphins defense is.
Yes.
They do cause turnovers, and Patrick Mahomes is not someone that throws interceptions. He does not turn the ball over. He also took a 30-yard sack, which is the longest sack since 2015. It was so bizarre. I was like, I had to watch it again. I was like, what is he doing? Because this is not what Patrick Mahomes does. He doesn't make mental errors. It was so weird.
Isn't it amazing what great defensive coaching does to even star quarterbacks?
Yeah.
You go back, Belichick against Peyton Manning. Mahomes is a wizard. In those first 2 or 3 series, he was making mistakes he has not made in a year against anybody.
And that's we lean so much into offense. That's all we talk about. That's all we focus on, the offensive numbers. If you have a great defense, so I'll mention it in passing, but you can really see, the Dolphins are not as good of a team as the Chiefs.
And they were also missing their top 3 running backs in Kyle Van Noy. When the story came out right before the game that all 3 running backs were out, I literally tweeted this. It's like, okay, I'm 0-1 and blazing 5. That's not a game you can win. A rebuilding team missing a key component to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. They're all out. And I'm like, the fact that it was that close, if in Miami today, I'm like, I feel unbelievable about my football team.
No, I do, and I'm not a huge moral victory person, but I do think that the process and development is very important, especially in a young team.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't think that it was the right choice to keep Fitzpatrick in, even if it meant that they were going to win games, because it doesn't serve you in the long run, and you're not ready to win a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah.
So if you were every other position on the field and everything that was going on was positioned, you could win a Super Bowl. You just have to have a quarterback that can win you some games. Okay, then maybe not see what Tua has this year. But that's not the situation the Dolphins are in. I thought they played a game against the Chiefs